Sit that right there, don't go nowhere, little baby gon' shake that, 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 shit, yeah, I like that, bring that right here, sit that right there, don't go nowhere, say yeah, I like that, bring that right here, sit that right there, don't go nowhere. Welcome back, we back with another reaction video. Today we're reacting to a Patrick CC video, Domination to Dementia, the tragic demise of Wendy Williams. Let's get right into it.
Celebrity gossip has been an American staple since the birth of Hollywood, but in the 90s and 2000s, exposing celebrities or revealing their darkest secrets to millions of people became a billion-dollar business of its own. Wendy Williams always dreamed of being a cog in the wheel of the Hollywood media machine, and she carefully crafted a formula to build an empire of her own. Wendy understood the public's insatiable curiosity to dive into the personal struggles and scandals of celebrities, realizing that gossip not only humanized stars, but also fueled their cultural relevance. But walking the fine line between entertainment and exploitation came with its own set of risks, which she had to face when confronting Tupac Shakur and the all-powerful Sean Diddy Combs. And after nearly 30 years of dominance, the tables turned, and Wendy herself became the subject of relentless scrutiny, with her personal struggles splashed across headlines. She could not adapt to modern times, her show was cancelled, and she disappeared from her glamorous gossip empire. However, we would sadly find out that she wasn't necessarily cancelled because her fans got tired of her, but rather because she is facing some serious health problems that she may never recover from. To compound these issues, it could all just be a setup by some shady people surrounded by Wendy. They may be over-exaggerating or straight up lying about her alleged dementia to trap her in a conservatorship and steal her multi-million-dollar fortune. This is the wild world of Wendy Williams. Wendy always considered herself the black sheep of her family. Wendy grew up in the late 60s and early 70s as the
I know I said I wasn't gonna join, but what is this haircut? Not the kid, bro. Props look great. Just cut it off. You could have braided it back, son.
middle child of a middle-class family in suburban New Jersey. During the heat of the civil rights movement, with cultural tensions at an all-time high, her parents, Shirley and Thomas, obtained a high level of education, sharing a total of 3 master's degrees. My father is always quoting Shakespeare, says Wendy. I call it crazy, but in actuality, it's intellectually just over my head. Wendy felt like she was living in the shadow of her older sister Wanda's flawless academic performance. Wanda was a straight-A law school graduate, and Wendy graduated high school ranking 360th in a class of 363. There were 3 people academically stupider than me. In addition to Wendy being intellectually inferior to her family and friends, she was often bullied for her dark skin and weight.
I learned to have my own inner strength. I had to fake confidence until I actually believed it. And unfortunately, that meant being very introspective and missing out on a lot of the things that kids participated in. Like, I've never been to a prom. I don't know what that's like. I was tall and I was overweight, and I was reminded of that by my siblings and my parents every single day.
My father, the first man who loves you, the first message about my weight is, Wendy, you have such a pretty face if you just lose some weight. I would get weighed constantly by my mother and father.
One of Wendy's tricks, step on the scale, and then she would lean to one side so that the needle would move downward instead of upward.
It might have been maybe too many mashed potatoes.
However,
Black people. I'm gonna just let it go. Just black people. But like, what? Why would you not try to? Never mind.
her parents say that her childhood was totally fine and normal because she never spoke up about her feelings.
Wendy never came home teary. She never came home angry in terms of what's considered and what that considered. No. And for some reason, I guess Wendy just internalized things. You know.
But nor did she fight.
No.
Nor did she fight.
No.
Did she fight back?
No.
And stand up for
She was
herself,
never-
or say, you know, I'm
was-
not fat, or I'm not tall, or get out of here, leave me alone.
Yes.
She didn't do that.
To escape the harsh reality,
This is making me mad, and I'm not supposed to be pausing back to back, but like,
but strike two. But your parents, they keep playing. Like,
realities of not being accepted by her family and peers, Wendy would lock herself in her room, studying the National Enquirer, catching up on celebrity gossip and the latest trends. When she wasn't reading magazines, she'd be playing with transistor radios, dreaming of one day being able to broadcast her voice.
Radio and cassette recorder. I used to play the roving reporter, and I would interview my little brother, Tommy. He's 3 years younger than me, about anything. So, what'd you have for dinner? Did you like it? What did you do? And then I would play back and listen to myself. I just loved radio. The people who did it, they all sounded like they had such cool, fabulous lives. They talk about the parties they were going to, and Donna Summers is coming to town, and they'd be at this restaurant and that restaurant. I said, I want to be cool too. So I knew that when I grew up, I wanted to be either a newscaster or I wanted to be a radio broadcaster.
After high school, Williams attended Northeastern University in hopes of becoming a television anchor. She ended up switching from television communications to radio to advance her career faster. Wendy was young, full of ambition and energy. She would take the train from Boston to Grand Central in New York just to listen to her favorite DJ's broadcasts. In Boston, she secured an internship at Kiss 108. However, she was not content just being behind the scenes. In a desperate attempt to secure airtime, she entered the building in rhinestones from head to toe, before storming into the studio while they were in the middle of recording. Wendy wanted to be on air, Maddie Siegel told The New Yorker. I look at interns as people who are going to bring me my coffee, but she, from day one, went, okay, which microphone do I use? Wendy explains, virtually everything in life I have plotted on to get. Nothing has happened by fluke. After graduating college, she moved around frequently in an attempt to find a radio station that felt like home and best fit her skill set. Wendy was a hustler, sacrificing time with family and friends to achieve a dream that they didn't really understand.
And I got a weekend gig in New York. So I would do weekdays at WOL in Washington and drive up on Fridays after my shift, which would end at 7 o'clock. And I'd be on all weekend long over in Queens. And then I would drive back to DC, and I would never even stop at my parents' house, never had time for friends, because everybody was kind of not understanding my dream and kind of laughing at me or something, or trying to, you know, my friends were like real immature and stupid and wanting to party and hang out, and I'm on a path, and my parents were very, you know, oh, do you want something to eat? What is this crazy thing you're doing called radio? I would sleep in my Subaru. They gave me a Subaru for college graduation. I would sleep in my car at every rest stop between New York and Washington, D.C. to block out the noise of people
telling you can't do it.
Right. I would literally I'd have a blanket, an alarm clock, and a quilt. And I would take a bird bath in the bathroom. I'd be woken up by the man sweeping next to my Subaru looking at me, because I'm like the crazy, you know, girl and I had a baby shade without a baby. Pull the baby shade down.
Unfortunately, this lifestyle was eating away at her. To cope with the pressure of working in media and entertainment, Wendy developed a serious cocaine addiction. She was constantly in a haze, which may have initially fueled her animated persona. Her addiction got out of control, sometimes snorting 2 grams of coke a day, 4 days a week. During her shift, Wendy would play an extended track of Noel Pagan's Silent Morning, which gave her just enough time to sneak into the bathroom and get high. One night, Wendy took a hit so hard that it knocked her unconscious. When she regained consciousness, the air had been dead for over 3 minutes. Fortunately, her bosses weren't paying attention, but it wasn't long before they caught on to what she was doing, and ultimately, she was fired. For the first time in her professional life, Wendy hit an all-time low. She went from sleeping in her car to finally achieving a small slice of fame like she had always wanted, and now it felt like her dream was slipping away. But Wendy wasn't.
How do we get from chasing your dreams to getting hooked on cocaine? What the bro, that's a crazy extreme to me. Like, what the hell?
Gonna go down easy. Williams spent her time sending out audition tapes throughout New York City. She briefly worked overnight shifts at WPLJ before finding a permanent position at 98.7 Kiss FM. There, she began gossiping about rappers and celebrities during a segment called Dish the Dirt, where Wendy, for better or for worse, started to deeply understand the Hollywood gossip engine. And there, she developed a genius formula that would begin her takeover of New York radio. At the start, she would interview low-profile celebrities, creating a symbiotic relationship where she would help the artist reach a mainstream audience in exchange for something scandalous about their personal lives. But it wasn't long before she caught the attention of some heavy hitters in the industry, because without a doubt, Wendy was the show.
I just want to thank everybody for listening, because although you might think I sit up here and diss and everything like that, I'm just a positive person trying to do a positive thing, trying to have a little bit of fun and make my mark in the world. Thank you very much for listening to Kiss. Really.
Wendy, why do you diss people?
Oh, Ralph, let me tell you something. I heard something about you. If you turn off the camera, I'll tell you exactly what it is.
Her off and on drug use combined with her outspoken personality made her extremely unpredictable. It was the kind of thing that captivated listeners. Nobody knew what she was going to say next. According to Vinnie Brown, he dealt with record executives who called up and said, "Hey, your girl is talking about my artist." I can't tell you the amount of times people like Bill Cosby, Puffy, Russell Simmons called me directly, and I just had to let them go off about something that Wendy said, and I'd be smiling without them knowing. And while this may have been good for ratings, sometimes Wendy would take things too far. She seemingly did not care about the legality of her claims, nor did she ever think she would face repercussions for her actions. A recurring segment on her show was discussing what rappers in the industry are on the down low, or hiding their homosexuality from the public.
There were lots of homosexuals in hip hop back in the 80s too. That was, what's worse, hip hop wearing skirts or hip hop being closeted and having a plethora of kids to prove manhood that, and denial of something that you shouldn't have to deny, which is your sexuality. We come from a very homosexual era of hip hop as well. There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake.
Nigga, why is she speaking of herself in third person? She's insane. Yep. That's on the checklist. They're for sure on the checklist.
For talking about such, and now it's all come full circle.
She even spread a rumor that Tupac Shakur had been R-worded in prison. And it's important to understand that very few topics were more taboo in the hip-hop world than homosexuality. Homophobia has always been prevalent in the hip-hop community. Hypermasculinity was a dominant theme in hip-hop culture, and any deviation from traditional notions of masculinity, including homosexuality, was often stigmatized. Suggesting a rapper was gay did more harm to their reputation than you could imagine, and Tupac perceived Wendy's comments as an act of war. Tupac denied the rumor after one of his first interviews after being released from jail.
The media, they make me act like I would act. I'm in jail, they reporting that I'm getting to jail. I'm sitting in jail, niggas is banging on my door going, "Ah! Win! Why you ain't
Pac funny as hell. Pac, win! I was just about to win the chat. Who was it? Yo, they was gonna hurt somebody about Pac, man.
say that? What's going on? Talking about I got this shit. Ain't this? You did an interview with somebody just today. Yeah, just about that, right? No, I didn't even talk to them. They got that from somebody else.
Tupac recorded a diss track that was released posthumously titled "Why You Turn on Me." He rapped, "I put Jenny Craig on your fat ass. You fat troll. Anybody ever seen Wendy Williams' fat ass? Why you always wearing spandex, you fat bitch? I know your pussy stinks, you fat hoe. I'm putting Jenny Craig on you, bitch. Since when?"
Boo. Like, not that I have any affinity towards Wendy Williams, but brother, that this was trash.
Wendy had struggled with her body image her whole life. These comments must have stung pretty hard. Yet throughout her 25-year career, she never truly dove deep into how she felt about Tupac's song. But oddly enough, she seems to be grateful for it. In 2012, she told The Hollywood Reporter, "Without those song mentions, I might not be on TV right now. There is a large segment who may have never heard about me on the radio, but they heard Tupac tell me I needed to go to Jenny Craig, or Mariah Carey tell me that I'm all up in her business. So I love them for that." Some artists even demanded that Wendy be fired for her unapologetic gossip, but the exact opposite happened. Her success at Kiss FM made her a highly valuable asset. Her rise in popularity became so great for the station that she got her own solo shift, which only affirmed Wendy's belief that, when it comes to Hollywood, bending the rules is fair game, as long as you become a star yourself. By 1993, Williams was the highest rated host in her time slot in New York City. That same year, she received a Billboard Radio Award for R&B Major Market Radio Air Personality of the Year. Due to 98.7 Kiss FM's change in ownership, Williams was transferred back to Hot 97, which had become the #1 hip-hop station in the region. She was now an afternoon host on the most culturally relevant radio station in the biggest city in the country. Wendy had officially cracked the code. She, like many of her listeners, was curious about the lives of the rich and the famous. She noticed that the industry encouraged her behavior for the sake of mutual benefit. Gossip humanizes celebrities. It offers glimpses into their personal struggles, which can make them seem more relatable, or at least serve as a source of entertainment. Then again, many celebrities just want the conversation to be around their craft, whether it be music, movies, sports, or other areas of entertainment. What Wendy realized is that the general public doesn't want to talk about the craft, so she essentially spent the rest of her career trying to walk that perfect line of discussing and criticizing celebrities while not damaging her own reputation or putting herself in danger. But luckily, she was prepared for the danger that was coming her way. Wendy met a man named Kevin Hunter at a roller rink in New Jersey. Kevin enticed Wendy because she was looking for a thug. He was the one who protected her, recalled music director Vinnie Brown. She had threats on her life. People were sending dead fish wrapped in newspaper to the radio station. The relationship inspired her to quit cocaine, which, she says in her memoir, she swapped for the fulfillment of romance. Hunter had effectively become her husband, manager, and personal security all at once as she had replaced one addiction with another. It was as if she was addicted to Kevin in a weird way, a former colleague of Williams told The New Yorker. She sort of dropped the drugs and picked up him, and he was just as bad for her. Wendy now had unimaginable power. She was platformed by a media powerhouse, and was being personally protected by a roughneck husband. Despite this, Wendy had finally crossed a line with a celebrity who had much more power than her. Sean Diddy Combs. Wendy knew the best way to rile people up was just make an accusation that a male celebrity was gay, and nobody was safe. She even suggested that her own co-worker, Angie Martinez's boyfriend, rapper Q-Tip, was gay. Angie said, everybody was gay to Wendy. Every rapper you could think of in that era, I had heard Wendy Williams call them gay. Not one or two, like every one of them. And when Angie went to confront Wendy, things got physical. I lost my effing mind. Before I knew it, I was swinging at her. It was a quick scuffle. It took only a few seconds for me to realize that she wasn't really hitting me back. She was just trying to get me off of her. At the time, Wendy created a website, GoWendy.com. The site featured celebrity photos, rumors, and received up to 100,000 views per day. In April of '97, Williams acquired a photo of Puff Daddy that may have convinced the public that he was gay, and she was letting her listeners know that she was planning on releasing the photo. Puffy's bodyguard, Gene Deal, remembers the photo clearly.
We were in Cancun, and we were on our way to the Island of Women. And this is all it was, bruh. For whatever reason, dude was playing with Puff. He went behind him and grabbed his trunks and pulled them down. When he grabbed his trunk to pull us down, some girls that was taking pictures. They took that picture and emailed it back to Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams said she had him in a compromising position and like it was gay, something like that. And she was gonna put it out. They stopped her from putting it out.
Diddy's ex-business partner, Kirk Burroughs, also remembers doing everything they could to prevent her from putting out the photo.
Wendy Williams was announcing in her super highly rated afternoon show that she had big news coming. I said, yo, what's going on? We started calling everybody. He was calling me. He got a heads up. He started calling the bosses at Hot 97. The street team was listening. They heard, the executives heard. We instantly all left the office, 19th Street, some in cabs, some in cars, some running all the way down to Hudson Street where Hot 97 was to get down there just to handle the situation and make sure that that picture was not exposed to the masses and was not delivered through Wendy Williams.
This scandal was too large to brush under the the rug. The station's hands were tied and they suspended Wendy. When she returned from her suspension on air one day, she referred to the girl group Total, who were bad boy signees, as broke hoes after their comments favoring her suspension. And after she made these comments, the members staked outside of Hot 97 to confront her.
I remember I got off the air one day and them Total were downstairs waiting, and everybody upstairs at the radio station is looking down, egging it on, waiting for something to go down.
And since Total...
Yeah, it's because you talk too much. Like Wendy, you be talking too much. Like you can't get punched on. Like you're not responsible for your words. What? Why did I have to call him broke gardening tools? That's wild.
Total was signed to Diddy, it makes people think that he was the reason they tried to physically assault her. Ultimately, WQHT, the owners of Hot 97, came to the conclusion that Wendy was a legal liability and they permanently removed Wendy from the air, causing her fans to protest outside of their offices. And in light of recent allegations against Diddy, many suggest that he used his powers in the industry to get her fired. Charlemagne the God seems to think so.
That was Wendy. Wendy's whole thing was Diddy was gay since the 90s.
She knew, dog.
No, Wendy was throwing that out there.
Apology.
That's why Wendy got fired from Hot 97. Wendy got fired from Hot 97 by Diddy because that's when Bad Boy was smoking hot.
Wow.
And yeah, she got fired for putting that out there.
This was a major hit for Wendy's turbulent career. She was contractually prohibited from taking another New York radio job for 8 months. So she went over to Philadelphia's Power 99 FM station and signed a $250,000 contract. However, while other broadcasters might interpret this as a sign to maybe slow down, stay quiet, play it safe, Wendy continued forward with the shock jock formula that had made her famous. In 2001, having boosted Power 99's listenership, she ultimately returned to New York to reclaim her throne as the queen of radio during Wednesday afternoons at WBLS. This show was called The Wendy Williams Experience. And on this show, you got typical Wendy, back like she never left, mouthing off about whatever celebrity drama was permeating throughout the culture. Except this time, fans would often hear their favorite celebrities call the station to confront Wendy on air. Mariah Carey, Destiny's Child, and even Judge Mathis called up to give Wendy a piece of their mind.
Let's talk about fueling your stuff. You, on the other hand, have admitted to being addicted to cocaine.
Absolutely.
Secondly, you continue to show symptoms of your addiction.
Okay.
Last.
What does Mathis say? I know what cocaine when I see. You bugging.
What are those symptoms? Tell me.
These nasal passages you keep coughing up.
And I did Afrin,
This eternal cold that you continue to have.
Yes,
that you can't have to come to work because every other week, now you even stupid so low as to blame it on your baby, your newborn. How low can you get? That's about as low as you can get to blame your child for your cocaine addiction. Then, lastly, your bisexual activity. I'm sure your audience want to know about that. I've heard that rumor.
I'm sure my husband would love that.
Yeah. Oh, he watches? Does he watch when you do it?
Yes. Don't you know?
No, I don't know. I didn't.
Oh, she indirectly called him a cook. This is wild. What is going on? Also, damn, I ain't know Judge Mathis was just. I have grievances.
know you were that low down. Lastly, we can continue with what I heard about all those abortions. Like 8? You had 8 abortions? That's what I heard. That's the rumor. Now you want to keep fueling that? Did you write about that in your book?
I wrote about abortion in my book.
All 8 of them?
Yes, I wrote.
In 2006, Wendy took things too far when she revealed on her radio show that rapper Method Man's wife, Tamika Smith, had been diagnosed with cancer, despite the fact that the rapper and his wife wanted to keep that information private. Following Williams' on-air revelation, Method Man appeared on The Breakdown, where he called out Wendy for outing his family's private information.
I'd like to thank Wendy Williams for bringing that to the masses, because she didn't have to go on the radio and say that shit. I like to keep stuff like that private, but yeah, she was sick.
But everything's all right now. All right.
Better than what it was.
Well, then that's what's up.
That's what's better than what it was.
That's what's up, man. I know a lot of us go through it, you know what I mean?
I be feeling like, yo, that ain't nobody business right there, though. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel about it. And that's her business. She didn't want anybody to know about it. You know what I'm saying? And I respected her wishes right there. So for the media to bring that and put that out there like that. I think that shit is mad tacky and disrespectful. Wendy Williams did it. All right, her. She's the one that did it. We still live in our same community where we used to live at. The people that lived around her didn't know she was sick till you said that shit.
But perhaps the most memorable argument from this era was when she went back and forth with Whitney Houston. In 2003, Whitney Houston's label approached the station for her album promotion. However, Whitney's team changed their minds after learning that Wendy would be the one conducting the interview, mainly because of Williams' past coverage of Houston. In an odd turn of events, Whitney called the station directly.
When your husband was incarcerated for those few days, what types of things do you tell her concerning, like, do you say, like, daddy's away visiting Boston?
I don't really talking to a retard. She's a sped patient. She's a child who has intelligence.
Okay.
My child is smart.
No, what
I talk to shush your mouth. I talk to her like she's an intelligent human being, okay? And I give her just as much as she can handle for a 9-year-old because I'm her mother, okay? And that's how we deal with it. Never mind what I told her, but she know the deal.
Well, a lot of parents whose spouse or what have you goes through something, particularly because that was only 8 days, would have either taken them out of school for the 8 days or taken them away from watching TV to, see headlines.
I do what I do to protect my daughter, Wendy, just like you would do to protect your son, okay? All right.
You are very defensive, Whitney.
I can't believe she did this interview. Like, bro, I'm not associating with you. Like, I wouldn't even have wasted my time. Because she just going to do clown regardless. And you entertaining it, it's just going to get her more clout, bro. Like, you got to let her die out.
I have to be, Wendy. You talk about me every f***ing day.
Well, Whitney,
every other day.
Whitney, you keep yourself in the headlines.
No, Wendy, y'all keep me in the headlines. I mind my business. I try to maintain what I got. I want to know what I'm doing all the time. I don't give a shit about what you're doing all the time. As long as you're healthy and God is blessing you and you're doing the right thing and being a decent person, I can handle that.
This clip perfectly exemplifies the Wendy Williams formula. Bring up a bunch of alleged rumors, scandals, or controversies in a passive-aggressive tone, then when the person gets offended, which is extremely normal, accuse them of overreacting. This is textbook gaslighting. The only difference is, this time, Whitney was not giving in, and was able to debunk every one of Wendy's arguments. And while you may think that Wendy might have felt embarrassed by her behavior or some sort of shame, she felt the exact opposite. In fact, this interview was conducted off-air. Wendy chose to air it after. I thought the issue was dead, the station manager recalled. The next thing I know, Wendy is running down the hallway telling me, "Boss, you ain't gonna believe what I got on tape." This interaction is another example of Wendy realizing that all of this chaos and drama, even if she is the one who looks bad, is good for business. Ratings are priority number one. Humility, shame, and dignity all come after. But it's hard to blame her when, again, she only kept getting rewarded by the Hollywood machine for this behavior. Wendy got an opportunity to host a made-for-television version of The Wendy Williams Experience, which aired on VH1. She and her co-host, Charlamagne the God, were able to broadcast their show to the entire country.
She looks crazy in 77% of her pics. That's a crazy percentage. I don't care. Look at this. Look, every picture is crazy. Like, what's wrong with you?
He considered like having extra fun. He didn't admit it to me.
Lucy, stop it! Denial is a river in Egypt. Your husband is gay. He's guys. If you want to stay, there's nothing wrong with it. To each his own when it comes to relationships, Lucy.
Okay, thank you.
Unfortunately, the show was canceled after one season, and it seemed like Wendy's dreams of transitioning from radio to television were looking bleak. However, in 2008, Debmar Mercury approached her and wanted to offer her a job as the host of a new daytime talk show, The Wendy Williams Show.
Wendy Williams Show is set apart from the other shows because I'm giving the Wendy, and I'm not a polished journalist. I'm just a nosy woman from the suburbs of New Jersey, and I want it all.
Fox signed a deal with Debmar Mercury to broadcast the show nationally on their stations, beginning in July of 2009. BET also acquired cable rights to air the program at night, and in 2010, BET International started airing the show in 54 different countries. The show was an overnight sensation, with 2.4 million daily viewers on average, as Wendy alternated daily with Ellen DeGeneres as the #1 female host on daytime TV. TV. While Ellen focused more on feel-good entertainment, comedy, and heartwarming stories, Williams knew what her audience wanted: to discuss celebrities' personal lives, controversies, and scandals.
I just learned that Chris Brown was leaving an airport. His Twitter name is Mechanical Dummy, and he twittered that one of the men around him reminded him of me, Wendy Williams. In other words, he's calling me a man. Well, you know what? At least if I was a man, then I would spend my time bullying other men, perhaps, and not other women. What this young man doesn't understand is that, you know, old Miss Wendy has been around for a while regarding radio. And I've got a huge funny bone. And before I make a joke about anybody else, I can break myself down head to toe and make jokes. A long time ago, many, many moons ago, I made the correlation between my persona and that of a drag queen. So, therefore, Chris Brown wasn't saying anything. I tell you what the young junior can do, though. He can go get himself some help and stop beating up women, because that there is a fact.
Wendy's ability to make the audience feel like they were just chatting with a friend over the juiciest news contributed significantly to the show's popularity.
Somebody said in our Hot Topics meeting that he's not aging the way a lot of 40-year-olds age, like he's aging fast. Maybe it's the thin hair, receding hairline, and the beard. I don't know. It doesn't matter. He still gets the girls. Any girls he wants. He was spotted leaving a club with not one, not 3 women, 20. And we don't know whether he was going back there and having sex with all of them. Maybe 5 of them were having sex together and he watched. And then maybe he would jump in and then jump out and then take a shower and leave the girls for themselves. Then maybe call in his security guards to take a turn. Like, you just don't know.
Wendy developed her Hot Topics segment, which was essentially an ongoing gossip series where she kept her audience up to date on the latest drama. Some recurring Hot Topics were Beyonce, Mariah Carey, Taylor Swift, Lindsay Lohan, the royal family, the Kardashians, Ariana Grande, Diddy, and other major A-listers.
Guess who's jealous of Adele? Beyonce. According to In Touch magazine, Beyonce feels overshadowed by Adele. Beyonce and Kim Kardashian.
Like, gang, she's literally just reading a magazine. Y'all put this on air? Why?
Kardashian have both lost their crowns because it's all about Taylor Swift. So Taylor has officially become the most popular person on Instagram. What I love about this story is that she's become popular without ever having to expose booty cheek, fake thigh gap, cleavage, or any of the above. Like, Taylor is just, do you know what I mean? The idea that, you know, that Kim has become famous by laying on her back, that Beyonce, while a beautiful and talented girl, everything, well, a lot on her social media is more sexualized. And all Taylor does is expose pictures of her cats.
Throughout the show's meteoric run, Wendy's unfiltered commentary ranged from cheeky references to unhinged takes on extremely dark issues, like when she called R&B singer Trey Songz dreamy while discussing his domestic violence charges.
So Trey Songz was arrested yesterday for allegedly beating up a woman that he was dating. They were at a party. There were a lot of people around who witnessed this, according to the woman. He was charged with felony domestic assault. Isn't he just so dreamy? I mean, just, I do believe I heard.
But you, oh, it's because Chris Brown talked about you. Oh, I'm like, what you saying? Chris Brown get some help? You're not gonna tell this get some help? You talking about he dreamy? What you want to get beat up by the nigga? Like.
And Norman did too. One of our co-hosts over here, we're not going to zoom in on her, say, beat me.
He beat up a woman. Audience gasps in shock. But isn't he so dreamy? Oh my god, yes. Her audience are like primary school kids. Karrueche Tran, Chris Brown's ex-girlfriend, filed a 5-year restraining order against Chris and won. Brown allegedly texted her, "Bitch, I will beat the shit out of you, and I promise I will make your life hell." Tran claimed in a sworn statement that Brown had previously, quote, punched me in my stomach twice and pushed me down the stairs. But Wendy Williams thought Karrueche Wendy had ulterior motives.
We know why Karrueche was with Chris Brown. She claims, that she was with Chris because, nice personality and whatever. She was with Chris because she's a thought who was after the dollar. I mean, this is not exactly a girl who has her own business and her own coins.
It's like, I would agree with you, but that's not true. Like, in some instances, you might be right. But Karrueche ended up becoming like a great actor. Well, not, I don't know. And she was good in the nails. I've seen like a few episodes of that. She was good on, what was that, TBS? Is that TBS? Yeah, I think it was TBS or TNT. But yeah, but no, it's not true.
That's the stupidest question ever to ask a girl of this nature. Like, why is she with a celebrity who's wealthy? Duh.
Wendy was oddly hypocritical in the way that she criticized women for things that she openly struggled with. She criticized Lil' Kim for her botched plastic surgeries when Wendy had multiple plastic surgeries herself.
Like, Lil' Kim, what happened? Like, no, what happened?
She claimed Ariana Grande was too small to be a real woman due to her height and frame.
She's the size of a baby. She's only 5 feet. It's not like I'm saying that, So she's just a little munchkin. She's probably 80 pounds soaking wet. So first of all, the carrying is not like carrying a fully formed woman. She's 21. She'll forever look 12, which I don't mean that in a good way. I mean,
we're just gonna stop it here. Shorty hating. Like, am I supposed to feel bad for the demise? Am I supposed to feel bad for the fall off? I can't. Like, I have yet to see any instances of her being a good person. Now, granted, you got bullied by your family and bullied in school. Damn. I wish somebody was there to protect you then, but like, bro, you became a bully yourself. Like, come on, bro, what are we doing? But that's the end of part 1, because this is an hour long. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Share your comments on the video in the comment section below. Also hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date when I drop videos on this channel. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Stay safe, y'all.
I'm a cowboy, can't stop me, ain't to live is to come. All this pain got me feeling accomplished. See, these can't turn me into a monster. Hey, I'm a cowboy, can't stop me, to live is to come. All this pain got me feeling accomplished. See, these can't turn me into a monster. I'm a cowboy, can't stop. Hey, all that pain got me feeling jaded. Many to roll in the making. Still plugged into the mix, but lagging out before the update. Drop back in, different time, same location.